Hello. Click like, click share, subscribe. Today we're going to talk about Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., since you want to hold him on a pedestal. He did a lot of great things. He did. He did a lot of great things for black people. Yes, he did. But he wasn't an angel. And a lot of people covered and is covering up all his sins. Because you separated the man from the husband from our situation. You separated all three of them when it came to Mr. Dr. King. He cheated on his wife left and right. Coretta Scott King. She held him down, and while she was holding him down, taking care of his children, he was sleeping around. Yes, he was. He had a lot of mistresses. But the black media and the black people kept it a secret because they understood that sometimes what a man does to his wife is not what he's going to do to his people. So you separated the man, the husband, from the man, the civil rights leader. And he made a great civil rights leader, but he was a lousy husband. But Coretta stuck in there, she stood by him, and he dogged her, secretly. He did a good job for our people. I bring that to say that you was dogging Donald Trump because you couldn't find anything else on him. You was dogging a lot of other people when you couldn't find anything of it. Oh, he's a cheater, and he's this, and he's that, and that means he's not a good person, and he's a bad man, blah, blah, blah. But here go a bad man who cheated on his wife. How come he gets a pass? But I bring him up to let a lot of you black people know that without the white people helping us, without the white lawyers joining Dr. King and the white citizens joining Dr. King in his plight and his march, black people would have gotten nowhere. So y'all keep hating on white people, okay? If white people don't help us, we get nowhere. Even today. Who was protesting in the Black Lives Matter? Pan the camera. All you saw is young white people. Because you guys can play with their minds. You use them, now you want to throw them away. Now you want to call them the devil. But they helped your cause in Black Lives Matter. The Breonna Taylor issue. And all the other issues. The guy who died in the police hands. Look around. Look at all the news clips, and you would see young white faces protesting for black issues. Yet still, after you use them, you want to call them the devil. You want to take all their representatives out of politics. You want to say that they're all prejudiced and they cannot feel our pain. Yet still they stand on a protest line with y'all. So what is it going to be? Are you going to hate them? Or are you going to hate them and use them and throw them away and then call them the devil after you get what you want? Because that's what it looks like to me. You don't respect these people who's protesting for you. I don't care. The white mama with the black child, the white kid who don't know, have an aim in life. You want to play with their head. I don't care. Do you hate white people? So stop using them for your marches and your protests. And calling them the devil and say they can't understand black plight. Now you want to say, oh, white doctors don't understand black thing because you're trying to open up jobs for black people. Yes, by all means necessary. You holding up the Martin flag, but you're using You're using the what's his name? I forget. By all means necessary. Yes, that's what you're doing. You're lying. You're doing this now. The Democrats want to be up there saying who can be represented, who can't be. Now they're trying to get somebody out of office. And she won an election just because she doesn't agree with the Democrats. Because she believes boys and girls, not whatever. Because this is what the world is. These groups is using their money to get what they want. The one with the letters and all these groups with the walls and all that. Yes, they're using their money to get to these people, the Al Sharptons and the Maxine Waters. Yeah, but answer me a question, Mr. Sharpton, since you're in the forefront. How come your kids can benefit from black plight? I'm sure your children have great educations. I'm sure they live in nice houses and homes. How come they came out the ghetto? You got an office right there on 125th Street. As a child, I used to walk past it all every day. Because I grew up in Harlem. Every weekend I had to go by my dad. During the week I'm in Brooklyn. On the weekend I'm in Harlem. Your children came out the ghetto. Your children didn't end up in the ghetto. So how come you won't let black people get educated and stop feeding them this garbage about white man this and white man that? You got out the ghetto. Obama got out the ghetto. I got out the ghetto. Some of these rappers got out the ghetto. Some of these, Denzel got out the ghetto. Oprah got out of the ghetto. Why? Because she educated herself. So you keep feeding these poor black people and you go around the projects and what have you in the poor areas and you recruit all these young black children and you feed them a whole bunch of lie about they can't get out the ghetto because the white man is holding them back. You're feeding them all that garbage so they can stay on welfare and don't get educated to know that you're talking a whole bunch of nonsense. So, yep, that's him. Look at, look at the face of a cheater. But he was also a great man because you separated the two or the three, and you hide, and you're still hiding all his faults. And his wife was home taking care of his children. And she held him down, and he still cheated on her. But you guys cover it up, and you still covering it up. But he was a great man. That didn't stop him from being a great man. So you keep going after these leaders, these white leaders. As soon as you can't find nothing, you dig up a mistress or two. And all of y'all got mistresses, every last one of y'all. And then you try to make them look bad. Yeah. There she goes. She held him down. And y'all covered up his secrets. So now Maxine Waters and her crew, because she always got something to say and do. She always want to go after people. And if you're not following their lead, you're the enemy, and you shouldn't have a thought in the world. And you got because I used to be one of those stupid black person. I used to be very militant, pro-black, because I was listening to all that garbage about the white man this and the white man that. And I grew up. I got out of my neighborhood. I started going to college, and I started realizing, What these people feeding me was a whole bunch of garbage about the white man. That's one of the reasons why I never went to an all-black school, an all-black college. Because when you come out of these all-black colleges, you're so militant, you don't want to hear nothing else but what you've been fed. But yet still you want to get you want to get these white man's jobs, and you want to do this and you want to do that. You just want to put them under a tree somewhere. You want to do to them what their forefathers has done to us, because you have this hate in your heart, this hidden hate in your heart for white people. Then you want to say, oh, somebody's supposed to get equal pay and equal. Yes, you're supposed to get equal pay if you have the same amount of time on the job and if you have the same education. Because I'm going to be mad. I'm on a job for 15 years and here comes somebody making the same amount that don't have the same experience that I have, black or white. But you make it a color thing. Yes, still you want them to dumb down the education for black people to get educated somewhat. Then you want to go on these big highfalutin jobs and don't know much about what you're doing. But just because you have a degree, that should say, oh, I'm qualified. And here it is, somebody else who has a degree and has more experience and been on the job longer, but you want the same pay. That shouldn't happen. Just because you're a woman, just because you're black, you're using all these little code words, or because, you want by any means necessary. Malcolm, there you go, Malcolm X, who was killed by his own black people, by the way. Because there was a fight for power between him and the other one. And the other one killed him because he wanted to be power. He wanted to have power. And Malcolm was fed all this garbage by Elijah Muhammad about white people. And then Malcolm went to Egypt and realized they was white Muslims. And all the stuff that he was fed about the white devil was wrong. And then his eyes opened up that he also has white brothers and sisters in the Muslim faith. And then he departed from Elijah Muhammad. And Elijah Muhammad did not like that because more people started to follow him. Ergo, he's not going to get as much money now because a lot of people is following Malcolm. So his money is going to be depleted. That's all it's all about with these people. Money. So he put a hit out on who? Malcolm X. Because Malcolm's eyes was opened. Because he was fed a whole bunch of garbage about the white man being the devil. Yes, I'm black. Here I go. I'm black. I don't know if you can see. So for those of y'all who saying, oh, she's black and she's talking all that. Yes, I'm black. And I'm not what you call black people who don't see your way. Beside House Nigga, I forgot. I watched the film yesterday. I'm trying to remember the name of the film that I watched yesterday. And I wanted to give you the name. I wanted to give you the name of that film because it's a good film. It was talking about when a black person turned from being in the Democratic Party to being a conservative. Everything a black person received came from the Republican Party, but the Democratic Party took credit for it. And this film will tell you. And like I said, I'm not Republican. I am a conservative leaning towards the Republican side, yeah. Because they are, going about some of the stuff that I want. I want blacks to get out this plight and this woe is me concept. You know? It's woe is me. It was on Amazon. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'll talk in the meantime. It was an Amazon film, and Candace Owens was in it. For those of you who don't know who Candace Owens is, I don't know if she's all the way. No, she's conservative. She's a conservative, and she's also black, and she talks about oh, it's called, if you look for a film called Uncle Tom, because that's what they call people who's not black people, who's not Republican, who's not Democrat. If you go watch a film called Uncle Tom, and it's if you have Amazon, you can see it for free. Yes, if you have Amazon Prime, you can see it for free. See, there it is right there, Uncle Tom, and you'll you get to know, you'll get to hear from a lot of black people, educated black people, who's now not on the wall with me. So I don't know what you guys want, because you want to infiltrate certain things, and then when the black people do turn to the Republican Party, because you have to be in it to win it. You understand? It's like when I became an officer, because I heard so much bad things about officers. So I became an officer, so I can be one of the good ones. But then you want to turn on the officers who's doing what you asked us to do. They said hire more blacks. I'm black. They hired me, and then you turn you turn on us. So what do you want? You turn on all the black officers, all the black people that is not listening to your rhetoric of hate, who see the real deal about when you're in jail and you see these inmates and how they react when their family is not around. You're teaching the black people, when an officer pulled them up, how to act up. You're feeding them that, how not to respect law and order. I'm not saying there's not bad cops. Of course, there are a lot of bad cops. Yes, I'm dealing with the situation myself, but all of them is not bad. But you're teaching our young people how to disrespect law and order, and therefore then problems start setting in. Because if an officer pulls you over and then you start cursing them out right away, you're not even giving them the opportunity to say, can I see your license, or blah, 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 blah. And then you just start wailing on them. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to pull you out the car and arrest you. Because hitting an officer, spitting on an officer, whatever they want to do is illegal. You can't do that. You can't do that. But y'all groups get the money, and these kids are acting crazy, listening to your garbage. That's why the black race is getting nowhere, because of a few people, the Al Sharptons, the Maxine Waters, and all those few people. I remember Al Sharpton when he was doing the Tiana Brawley nonsense. You know, maybe it was true, maybe it wasn't true. And then 20 years later, he's back on top. Why? Because he's feeding black people a whole bunch of nonsense. It's not white people's fault that you guys don't want to get an education. It's not white people's fault that you guys want to give up on the first try. It's not that. It's not white people's fault. You want to have a whole bunch of kids that you can't afford, and then you want to blame society. Put on a condom. Get some birth control. But no, you get pregnant, then you want to abort 9 months later. That's killing our children. Blacks have the number one rate of abortion. You're killing our children. Everybody else keep their kids. Black people don't. They're using abortion as birth control. Oh, if I get pregnant, oh, okay, oh well. Me, I believe if a woman could have, I know a lot of Christians are gonna, thing with me, but 3 months. If 3 months thing and you decide to have an abortion, fine, but you can't use it as a birth control method. Not every 6 months you get pregnant and you want to go down to the clinic. Your first 3 months and you decide to have an abortion, okay, fine, you can do so. But you can't use it. You can't use it as